finally one day I just said, okay, this is stupid. Like, this is ridiculous. What is the worst possible thing that can happen?
Level up your mind, your grind, your game. Awesomely is the name.
Hey, people, welcome to Awesomely, where we help you learn how to live more awesomely. I'm here with the one and only Courtney Jones. Hello, Courtney. Thank you for being here with me for a few minutes. We're going to talk about the biggest mistake that new investors make. We've both known a lot of new investors over the course of our lifespan so far in this real estate investing ecosystem. Uh, I believe I believe you've done over 1,200 houses, right, over the course of what, since 1992? Did I get that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That's a lot of numbers, isn't it?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah. And I've seen some mistakes.
yeah. Well, you've been at it longer than I have. I got started in '99, so I've got a good track record as well. But like, I don't know, I need to learn from you. So,
Well, we could probably learn from each other. So we'll start with this.
all right. So, where are you in the world right now? Sorry, I should have asked you that. I know you recently helped your daughter relocate.
Yes, we're actually in Detroit, Michigan right now. So yeah, trying out a city life.
Nice, 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 nice. Or do you have active deals that you've done in Detroit yet? I know you've been nationwide.
I have not done anything. I'm actually looking at a couple and I've made a couple offers in the last couple months, but nothing that's gone through. Getting involved with the RIA and meeting some people and starting to make those connections. So anticipate doing some things here real soon. I'm mostly doing multifamily now, so making offers on apartment buildings. So looking forward to getting my first one here locally.
Nice, nice. Before we hit record here, we were just talking that both you and I have a lot of years talking to and helping, hopefully, basically earlier versions of ourselves. When I create a program at Awesomely, when you when you produce anything at bestreitips.com, which, by the way, everybody should check out if they haven't, if they're not familiar with it. Got some great stuff over there. I know that we're both communicating to us some years ago. Like, I'm talking to me 25 years ago, and I have the benefit of seeing through the lens of my own experience, the good and the bad, especially the bad, the lessons that I've learned, and also just having interacted with a lot of other earlier versions of me as well, and what I've learned through their journey. I know that's a core value that we share, and I really appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's really kind of why I got into doing this. I was perfectly fine just doing my own deals and being doing that thing, right? And then I started as I would go to like boot camps and seminars and things, I would always get questioned at the back of the room about, how did you get started and how do you do this with with a kid and all that kind of stuff. And
Hmm.
I started to see kind of this null and void for moms who were in the trying to get into the investing business, and I just kind of started coaching them on the side a little bit here and there. And the next thing you know, 20 years has passed and I've been doing it for and teaching it as long as I can. So
Yeah.
I love it. I love to see the success in others, but definitely see a lot of mistakes along the way. And it's really interesting. And like we were talking about how similar they are, right? They all boil down to the same few mistakes, really.
Yeah, yeah, and I like also that you and I are made of the same stuff. And I I know I didn't tell you I was going to do this, but I have a section from your website that I just want to read to illustrate that. Speaking, this is on your about page. You said the goal of this blog, man, this really gets me in the feels. The goal of this blog is to teach you the good, the bad, and the ugly of real estate investing, because there is some bad, there is some ugly. You can't just pretend it's all roses and unicorns, right? Look, my God given gift is to be a trainer and a coach. High five, Courtney. It's what's deep inside of me. On these pages, you will see a plan on how to get started in real estate investing, how to know where to start, how to do each of the business models, and where to find the money. And you'll learn all about how to make money and how to keep the money you make. That is beautifully written, first off, and it's just a core value that really resonates with me, because I've been on the internet with the real estate investing people, my people and your people, doing it since, well, I guess I started probably back in the old forums at flippinghomes.com and Cree Online. And I was still, I'm with you 100%. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, thank you. It was truly, I write all my own stuff. I don't have a team or people or anything. That's just from my heart and how I
Yeah.
feel and, you know, what I've experienced in helping people along the way. And I just like to share that so that others can have the same. Really, for me, it's always been about freedom. I just don't, you know, I'm not a good 9 to 5 kind of person. I want my life, whether that's my work life and my home life, to kind of be all one. I'm just always the same person. It doesn't matter if I'm at a charitable event that's a 500 person dollar a person plate, or at the, you know, volleyball court with my daughter when she was playing. I'm just the same person all the time. I don't have different personas, and I don't like separating things. It's like, this is me. I'm wearing flip-flops, and I'm me no matter where I'm at and where I'm going. And I just want to teach people to have that same kind of lifestyle so that they can enjoy that as well. I think it's important.
All right. So let's take this down to brass tacks then. Uh, in your journey so far since 1992, what do you feel are the biggest, most common mistakes at the top of the list that new investors make?
I would think that the number one thing, and this was me as well, is waiting too long, or waiting for to feel ready, I guess would be how I would describe it. Waiting to feel ready. You know, it for 2 years I went to events, I read books, I, you know, went to seminars, looked, we didn't have online things back then really. So I did all of those kind of things. And
The
I
internet
just
of the
and I
day was all dial up.
Yeah.
You got in.
And I even ran ads for 2 years in the local newspaper. That's this black and white paper thing we used to have back in the day,
Right,
people.
right. I
And so
remember.
I would run ads that said, I buy houses, and I would go on appointments and I would look at the house. And I would go back. I would tell them, because I was so afraid to make an offer, because I was so afraid. Did I get the numbers right? Is this going to actually rent, or could I sell it, or whatever? And so then I'd tell them, I'll get back to you with an offer. And I'd go home and I'd pull out my Carlton Sheets manual and look at all the different ways I could possibly buy this house. And then I
Mm.
would just stifle myself with fear. And I did that for 2 years, running an ad at like $350 a month. And finally, one day I just said, okay, this is stupid. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, are you going to keep doing this and spending the money? What is the worst possible thing that can happen? And at that point, I kind of just started having some hard discussions with myself and going through the coaching that I now give to others today, um, in my own head. And basically, I set a goal that no matter what, even if I lost money and worst case scenario happened, I was going to buy a house in the next 30 days. And I just kept that discipline and did. And then I've never looked back. But I feel like there was so much lost opportunity in those 2 years that I missed out on. And I see that in people every day because they're waiting to know just enough. And it, sorry to say, but this is the kind of business where you just don't know till you do. It's just the way it is, because there's so many different scenarios and so many different things that can play out.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. You've got to fail forward. You can't approach any new endeavor and expect to not make any mistakes. In fact, you must see every mistake that you make as a rung on the ladder up. It may hurt, it's unfortunate. You don't try to make mistakes, but it's
Right.
inevitable. And so, as soon as you have that perspective shift and you realize making these mistakes and course corrections is a required step up in the ladder that I'm climbing, and what's up at the top is worth it. When you made that choice, you had that clarity, and you said, okay, I'm going to fail forward no matter what. That's a like in terms of the how, I think seeing that perspective and making that hard choice is first off, like right out of the gate. That's the first step. What do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's all there is, right? Like, once you do that, you put the one foot in front of the other, then I feel like what you have to have is enough confidence in yourself to know that although you may not know the specifics of this business, you can figure things out,
Yes.
right? If you have a hit, like, people will say to me, but I don't have any real estate experience. Neither did I. And I was 19 years old. Like, I was clueless, you know? So it's like, it's not about that. It's about, if you're presented with a challenge, whether it be in your personal life, your business life, this, a hobby or whatever, are you usually able to figure things out? If something pops up, are you somebody who can go, okay, let me look at the facts and
Yeah.
then let's see, how would we fix this, right? That's really what it's all about. And then feeling like, okay, I can do this, and take one step, then the next, and then the next.
Yes. That fear, that anxiety that people feel over making mistakes is universal. but do the thing you
Absolutely.
fear, and the death of that fear is certain. Even if it's realized, you will kill that fear by doing the thing that you're afraid of. You've got to be willing to find the stuff inside yourself to have courage. What is courage? It's not the absence of fear. It is
Oh, definitely
choosing
not.
to do the right thing in spite of the fear that you feel.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. And it's so true. You have to do it anyway. I tell my daughter that constantly, right? And so yeah, I think it's an important lesson in really all parts of life. I feel like this is a message that could go on any platform, right? Not just real estate investing, but any message for any platform for any business.
Hmm. Well, it reminds me of what I feel like is in my own record also one of the biggest mistakes that new investors make, and I made this mistake myself. It's not the same, but I feel like it's in competition for perhaps the most common mistake that I've seen, and it is especially personal because I made it myself, and that is when you get into real estate investing and whatever your gateway drug is into the game. It's a first step, but then suddenly you realize, whoa, this is a wider world and deeper world than I thought. And it becomes overwhelming for a minute. And then I made the mistake, and this is what I've seen a lot of people do, of going a mile wide and an inch deep, trying lots of things and feeling frustrated because of a lack of success in any one thing.
Right.
And what I learned the hard way through years of trial and error is that while it can be helpful to try a little of this and try a little of that as a process of self-discovery, you've got to be committed not to success in the things you're experimenting with, but to seeing if it's even the right thing for you, right? I believe firmly that the right shape of a real estate investor for each person is where your interests, your skills, and your opportunities align. And you don't sometimes
Absolutely.
know where those things align until you try something. I didn't know I suck as a rehabber until I tried a rehab deal, and I realized, oh my gosh, I landed a great deal, but I'm just like, I got to get out and find the next deal. And I don't want to manage contractors. And I get like, I throw up in my mouth a little bit as I think about like the process of sitting on a deal. And some people soar, like they're high income earners in that category, but I had to try it myself to understand. But I used it as data to refine and discover what was for me the thing that was the perfect shape for me: wholesaling houses, quick in, quick out. Once I discovered wholesaling houses, though, and that really resonated with me, like it checked all the boxes, then I went an inch wide and a mile deep on wholesaling. I put blinders on and I said, all those other things are great, but I'm not going to dilute my time and attention trying to do all the things and just doing them kind of okay. I want to be really, really good at the one thing that where my interest, my skills, and my opportunity are aligning. That perspective, that's years and years of experience that were required of me in order to earn that perspective. And I offer it humbly to everyone who's here, newer in the real estate investing journey right now, as wisdom that you can choose or not choose to listen to.
Well, hopefully they will choose to listen to, because it's definitely true. I tell people that all the time. Like, yes, eventually you may do two, three, or four type of business models, but you definitely want to pick one to get really good at and to practice at and move forward. I always use the analogy that it's like getting in the car. If you are trying to drive to Maine, to Florida, and to Washington from Arizona all at the same time, you're not going to make much traction or get very far very fast, right? You're
Mm,
going to be all over the place, and you're not going to get to any end result, right? So you got to pick a path, and along the way, you'll learn skills, you'll develop relationships, you'll be exposed to other things, and then once you get that successful, then you go, okay, I've done wholesaling. I'm good at wholesaling. I've got some cash built up. I need some tax benefits. Let's try whatever, rehabbing or buy and hold or something else, right? So then you get into something else, but you've got traction with the one you're making money. You've got good skills, you've got good habits, you've got good systems in place. And then it's easier to add a second one because now you have some experience under your belt. So
yes.
I totally agree. That would have been my second choice if when you asked that I was going between those two. So that was perfect.
Man, I wish I'm trying to share this wisdom with my oldest daughter right now as well, and she's not interested in real estate investing or really any other. She wants to be she wants to be Taylor Swift, frankly, but and I support her in that. But uh, she and so many people in that generation are, I think, buying a delusion that if you follow your passion, it will be the thing that's the most rewarding. There's some truth to that, but for it is a narrow segment of people that that applies to, just purely as I said it. Most people follow their passion and they find themselves, because they don't have opportunity or skill, one or both of those things in that category, they get frustrated and they get discouraged and they feel like the biggest loser because their passion isn't something that's paid off for them. And I don't want to squash the dreams of anybody who's that age, but I feel like I'm doing everything I can to say to instill within them in the most encouraging way. Look for where those three things align. You've got to find something you really resonate with, that you can be passionate about or just really enjoy. Whatever it is, you like it a lot, and you've got some skill in that, and you've got some opportunity. That's the sweet spot. That's where the magic
Right.
happens. That's I think that's what your people talk about your calling. I don't think your
Hmm.
calling is a specific role or vocation. I think that's your calling. It's the sweet spot of those three things. And it can be over the lifetime of a person, it can move, right? Those
Yeah.
three circles can align in your 20s in a different place, in a different role, in a different title, in a different vocation than they do in your 30s and your 40s and your 50s.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank God. I mean, I never would have left investing and gone into teach. Not that I've left it. I mean, it's still around. I still do it, but I never would have gone into the teaching and coaching aspect of things, which has been such a rewarding part of my life, right?
Mm,
It's like and it uses two different sides of my brain. So I think you're absolutely right. I mean, it evolves as we go, which is why also I think it's important for people like to pick a path to get into investing and then they can expand. And you never know. It might roll you into coaching and teaching. It might roll you into getting a job somewhere where you're managing a large portfolio, or who knows, right?
mm.
We don't know what all of the opportunities are, but taking that first step is the important part, right? That first ring on the ladder and then heading up.
Yeah. Well, it's a pleasure to interact with someone such as yourself that, like me, really feels like we need to be the best stewards we can be of our own experience and what we've been able to learn from the experience of others we've surrounded ourselves with, and pay it forward to younger versions of ourselves who are, earlier in the life cycle of this a similar journey. So it's an honor to
Yeah,
to
it's
have
been
this
fun. Fun.
conversation with you.
You too. You too. Thanks so much.
All right, guys, check out bestreitips.com to hear and learn more from Courtney. And I'll always be over at awesomely.com looking around for you. Take care, everyone.